put you. See if you can help me see him. He's still far away, but look closely. Let's see if we can spot where this lion is. Oh, and he's moving. There we go. He gave himself away. How perfect was that? Feet up in the air. I wonder if you all managed to see him as he rolled over. So there's our lion. Come, let's go closer. Let's go a little bit closer and see if we can see what he's up to. He's looking very sleepy, which is what lions are very good at. Lions are very good at looking very sleepy. Now, where is going to be the best way to get through here? I think we might have to go on a little bit of a journey. There we go. This might be the way forward. There we go. Got to find my way through the big ditch that's in front of me before we can go to him. Hold on, it's gonna get bumpy. Whoop. Okay, just hold on a moment. We're gonna see him shortly. I just need to work out how I can get across this big ditch that is in front of me. I see a way across the big ditch, I think. Oh, no, we can probably go through here. Hold on, everybody. Now we've got to hope that we don't get stuck. Otherwise, we're going to be in big trouble, because then the lion is going to be there while we're trying to get out. Hold on, hold on. Everybody hope we don't get stuck. Hey! And we're up and over. And hello to Haley. You wanted to know whether or not there are any wildebeest where these lions are. There are often wildebeest here, Haley. There's actually quite a big herd of wildebeest that lives in this area. I haven't seen any, Haley, but that's probably because they know that this big male lion is here and they're hiding away from him. So yes, there are wildebeest around. I haven't seen them. They might be hiding from the big lion. Hold on. Oh. Oh. There he is. Hello, my boy. Just hold on one moment. I'm going to try and get you a good position to see him. Okay, hold on. We're just going to keep going round so that we can see his beautiful face. There we go, there we go, there we go. There we go. Hello, my boy. Sorry, hello. Hello. So there you go. There's our beautiful male lion. So we got here just in time so that you all could have a chance to see him as he snoozes away with one very fat belly. Isn't he beautiful with his big thick mane all around the top of his head? And you can see the flies are really bothering him. Well, not bothering him, but they're crawling all over him. Sitting on his face, going up to his nose. I'd find that very difficult to stand if I were a lion. And then, of course, those massive big paws that left the footprints in the mud that we saw earlier. There we go. Isn't he magnificent? And he's doing what lions generally do at this time of day. They're nocturnal animals, which means they're awake at night and often, usually, asleep during the day. So he's probably been snoozing away for hours and hours over the last few, well, since the start of the morning. Hello to Stefano. You wanted to know if we are in the Serengeti Plains. Well, welcome, Stefano. And yes, while we do see, well, people do get lions in the Serengeti Plains, we're not there. So the Serengeti and the Mara and all of those areas are up in northeastern Africa, or eastern Africa. We are right at the bottom of the African continent in a country called South Africa. So we're in the southern part of the continent, and we're on the border, or almost on the border, between Mozambique and Botswana and South Africa. Sorry, not Botswana, Zimbabwe and South Africa. So we're right there. We're in South Africa at the moment. So it's a place called the Greater Kruger National Park. So whilst we also get lions and elephants and buffalo and wildebeest, it's slightly different where we are. And we don't have as many of the open areas. Michael, you were looking at elephants with Brent earlier, and now we're looking at this lion, and you want to know, do elephants fight lions? Yes, they can. They often... Generally, the lions don't stick around to try and have a fight with an elephant, but elephants very often chase away lions. They don't like the way that they smell. They don't like having them around. You saw that tiny, tiny baby with Brent. Well, the lions could potentially catch that baby, but with the whole elephant herd protecting it, they don't stand a chance. So yes, elephants do chase lions, and in some places in Africa, lions can even hunt elephants. Tyler, you've asked me a question I don't know the answer to. How does the lion manage to sleep with all of those flies on it? I don't know. I think he's just used to it. Because I can tell you something, I wouldn't be able to sleep if there were flies crawling all over me. There's not too many on him. There's one or two crawling around. But look at him. He's basically fast asleep. He's quite happy with the flies all over him. I wouldn't be able to stand it. But very good question. I can't tell you how he's able to. I think it's just because he's used to it. Well, unfortunately, it is time for us to say goodbye to all of the kids at Bayside Elementary. I hope you've had fun and that the rest of your school day is exciting, as exciting as this part has been. So from myself, VM, that Birmingham boy, and the entire Safari Live team, have a good rest of your school day, and we hope to see you again soon. Bye-bye, everybody. For our regular viewers, welcome back, and thank you for bearing with us on the beginning of the Sunset Safari. Just a quick reintroduction for those of you that have just joined. My name is Jamie, and this afternoon I have VM on camera with me, and we are coming to you live, in our case, from Cheetah Plains Game Reserve in the Greater Kruger National Park area of South Africa. And what we've just been doing for the last, however long it was, since 3 o'clock, I think it was 45 minutes, what we've just been doing is a school drive with some elementary kids from sort of around the ages of about 8 to 9. So that's what we've been up to. So thank you for bearing with us. You can send through your questions, and we will start taking them now. And you can do that on hashtag Safari Live on Twitter, or you can email through to questions@WildEarth.TV. And what a wonderful thing that the kids had a chance to see our Birmingham boy. I didn't even get a chance to really go into introducing him or anything like that. We were a little bit pushed for time, but isn't it fantastic that kids are now at the point where they can get onto the back of a safari vehicle, quite literally, well, not quite literally, but you sort of imagine they're on the back of a safari vehicle and be introduced to cats like this. And that's why we prioritize their questions, because of course kids are the future of conservation. And the more they learn to love and connect with moments like this, the better. The one thing I avoided pointing out to them, since we didn't want to make any of them feel queasy before their school break, is that this male lion does actually have a dead buffalo in front of my vehicle. I'm just trying to see. Unfortunately, it's a tricky position that we're in. I can't see how much he's eaten, but he does have a buffalo kill there. Not much, from what I can see. I think he's eaten all of the organs, and that's it. So that does explain the presence of all of the vultures and the the very full belly. Hey boy, you're having a good snooze. And I just have to share with you that on our way here, we passed Tundi in the Mulwanini, and I'll explain a bit more in a moment. Now I just have to think about moving. Sorry, there was a fly going up my nose. I'll explain to you a little bit more about Tundi, but before I do, Emre, you wanted to know about the social dynamics of lions and whether or not are they developing? Do they change or show improvement from generation to generation? And have they sort of in any way invented a new thing? Hello. It's a very, very good question. A very good question, and just bear with me because I want to give you a proper answer, but I also just want to shift out of the way. How's it? How are you? Hold on, I'll shift for you. Hi guys. Hold on one moment. I'm just going to shift back a little bit. Just so that... Oh, sorry, that was a bit too fast. I'm going to try and see if I can get a view without blocking. There we go, Vim. Is that alright for you? No, now he's got a branch in his face. Okay, let's just settle for this for now. So that the other guests can have a chance to take their photographs. And I'm just ducking down out of your way. It's a really, really good question about the social dynamics of lions and if they've improved. Because, of course, the thing is, they have to adapt almost constantly to different conditions, different trying conditions. Our lions have just come through a drought, and the sticks who contracted mange, none of their cubs survived, but the Nkuhumas, 6 out of the 8 cubs survived, and actually all of them, all 8 cubs actually shook off the mange and it was getting better. So that's an example of evolution at work. Essentially, not evolution, but essentially the strengthening of the gene pool and the survival of the fittest cubs. And naturally, as the Nkuhumas reproduce, those genetics will be continued and propagated, the fact that they can survive those sorts of diseases. Let's just shift a little bit round. Sorry everybody, I've got to just do this. I've got to get around. Anyway, I'm just going around that side. We can admire his belly for a bit while we wait. And perhaps we shall admire his bottom. Okay, this will do for now. We will shift around a bit later. So I'm just making some space for the other guests in the vehicle. It's a bit of a tricky spot he's found himself in. I'm trying to think if there's any other examples. I mean, lions are always constantly adapting. They're not an animal that's going to learn to use tools. That's not what they're built for. It's not in the way that they work. And in a way, they've achieved an almost, not perfect, but a very, very good design. Is there a way in which they have adapted or changed? I'm going to think about it some more, and I'll get back to you on that answer, because it's a very, very good question. And what I'd love to do, what I've always wanted to do, is go back in time a couple of 100 years, just to see how things have changed. And speaking of diseases, Justin S., you want to know if lions are prone to any sort of cancer. Not that I know of, in terms of one cancer being more likely than another. However, they can get cancer. I know that they can get cancer. It usually you find, of course, that it's the older lions that will get something like a growth, and very often, of course, they perish before you even realize, or without you even realizing what it was that struck them down. Because life out here is very unforgiving. They can't just check themselves into some kind of hospital or get treatment in any way. So when they do get something like a cancerous growth, it often kills them relatively silently and without us really realizing exactly what it is that's got them. So yes, lions can get cancer, but it's unusual. It's not common to see them with it. In fact, most of the animals out here can get cancer in some form or another. Often it's just benign growths, so tumors that are completely benign, but you do get the odd instance of strange things occurring. He's snoozing away. I'm just wondering. I'm just checking all of the vultures in the trees. I'm just thinking that perhaps this close to Kruger we might see a white-headed vulture, but it looks as though we've just got lots and lots of white-backed. which we're happy to see as well, although that one is, I like the idea that that one's attempting to pretend to be a white-headed vulture with one ridiculously fluffy feather on the top of its head. Very beautiful in their own way. Okay, maybe not beautiful, very striking in this afternoon light and with these stormy grey skies. We're going to spend a little bit longer with our Birmingham boy to see what he gets up to. In the meantime, let's go see how Byron's stroll through the bush is going. He is indeed tucking into his buffalo meal, and for those of you that are new to these safaris, and perhaps for whom this is a little bit too much, you can sort of go and make yourself, as James describes it, perhaps go and make yourself a cup of tea, and then come back if you're not into the gory things. And our lion is currently tucking into his buffalo meal, quite happily munching away, so he was just sleeping off quite a full belly. And he's now going about the task of, it looks like he's eating the head. So I was right about the fact that he has nibbled away all of the sort of the internal organs, and those of course are the best part of your average buffalo kill. Now he's using that rasping tongue to lick away the flesh from around the bones. We're not going to stay with him for too much longer, just because there are other vehicles that want to come into the sighting, but we'll spend as long as we possibly can before we move out, and we'll go off in search of other things, perhaps some cheetah on the open area of Cheetah Plains. What do you think, boy? But it is an absolute pleasure to see Nsuku once again. It has been a long time since we last saw him, a very long time. Generally, we actually don't see all that much of two of the four of the Birmingham boys. Tinyo and Mfumo spend their most amount of time with us and around us, and with the Nkuhuma pride, whereas Nsuku and Nena, they have a tendency to roam a little bit further away from our Traverse area. They're often in Chitwa, occasionally even down into Mala Mala, and generally just more on the eastern fringes of the Birmingham boys' territory. And that's not to say that they don't come together every now and again, although I can't think of the last time we saw all four boys together. Can you, Viam?
Years ago.
It feels like years ago. It was a long time ago. Sorry, hold on one moment. Sorry, guys. Hold on one second. Okay. Thank you, Andrew. He's got it under control. I've been trying to figure out exactly how big this buffalo is, but Judy Starr and Roger, you want to know whether or not he took down this buffalo by himself. Yes, I think he did. In fact, I'm almost certain that he did. The Birmingham boys, of course, have a reputation as being serious buffalo killers. They have been known in the past. Let me just try and go backwards. Oh, hold on. As I said that, he sort of came back into... No, let me go back a little. Sorry, everybody, making emotion sick here. Let me just go back a tad. It's a very tricky position that we found ourselves in, or he's found us in, or we found him in, or something like that. So yes, the Birmingham boys have quite the reputation as very well-equipped buffalo hunters. Now, there is this reputation that male lions can't hunt, or that they are lazy hunters. They're not lazy hunters. And a lot of the studies have been based off very, very skewed science. So yes, social hunting is often more effective. It has a higher success rate. The females will hunt alongside the males when the males are around. And yes, they'll probably have a slightly higher success rate because there's lots of them. But the fact that the male doesn't necessarily always catch the kill doesn't mean that he's not a vital part of that whole process. There are statistically always going to be more females than there are males. when they are hunting. So even the research papers that sort of claim that the females are more successful hunters, they're statistically more likely to be because there's more of them. And yes, the male lion is a little bit slower, and he gets a little bit hotter than the females because he's got this big head of hair that will heat him up, and but he does have an extra 100 kilograms at least on a female, and that means that just in sheer power, in terms of sheer power, absolutely a male lion is capable of taking down a fully grown buffalo all by himself. And very often they play a pivotal role when a pride is taking down something like maybe a buffalo, although we know the Nkumas can do that on their own. Oh boy, which way are we going? Oh, look at that power. Strength.
Does that look like one or two creatures? Just one. Oh dear. Hello, Mr. Creature. Here we go. Hello, it looks like Mr. Tinyo lazing about. One station with Wanunangala off Central Road, Vetela. Look at him. Hello, mister. Your belly still looks quite full from the buffalo you were eating yesterday morning. Now, nice overcast afternoon, so he hasn't had to lie in the shade of a big tree. Sorry guys, I've just got to try help someone on the radio for a second. Standing by. Well, we wait to chat to them. Oh, there we go. Hey, Firmian, it's Brent. So Richard was wondering, does male lion mane colour make a difference? Richard, I will be with you in 1 second. Hey, Firm. Copy. Now, Richard, that's a really good question. So there has been quite a bit of different research into the mane colour, and it seems that the darker the mane, the higher the testosterone level. And in certain parts of Africa, it seems that females are attracted to that. Now, as with a lot of things out in the African bushes, there's no steadfast rule, because as we've noticed in the last while, the most dominant male lion that's been within the Birmingham Boys has been Mfumo, the authority, and he's kept Tinyo at bay. And then, well, if Tsoko is down on Cheetah Plains, I'm guessing the one we saw yesterday was Nena. So he has kept them both at bay, keeping Amber Eyes shielded from the other males, so he gets the first opportunity to mate with her. So in certain circumstances, yes, the darker the mane means more testosterone, and theoretically females prefer males with darker manes, and males are more scared of males with darker manes. But the authority of Mfumo doesn't have as dark a mane as Tinyo here. But I also think Mfumo's a little bit younger. And I don't think the Birmingham Boys are all the same age. And just looking at Tinyo's mane and some of the scars and nicks in his ears and that, I'd say he's possibly even a year older than the authority. Now, maybe the exuberance of youth is playing a role in him being more dominant, but if you look at the Mapogos, I mean, there were 5 males there, and often in the interactions that I personally saw in the Southern Sabi Sands, the most dominant was Mr. T, even though he had the least impressive mane and he was physically smaller than the other guys, but he was the most aggressive. So quite often I think attitude goes a long way. Very quiet evening. All the flies upon him. Hi, Daniel. And he's in Scotland. Daniel would like to know if we've ever seen all the Birmingham Boys on one drive. Indeed, we have. Quite a few times in the early days. There used to be 5 of them, and we actually have seen all 5 together on quite a few occasions. The last time we saw all 5 together was on Sandy Patch in the sunset. It was quite a spectacular sight as they walked alongside us with the sun setting beyond them. Obviously, since then, one Birmingham boy has moved to the great hunting field in the sky. He died eventually from injuries he sustained from a buffalo hunt. It looked like a buffalo horn punctured his lung. It unfortunately did take him quite a while to die. But it is a hard life for male lions. I mean, it is a really, really tough life, and male lions are always full of holes, scars, bites, scratches, ticks, biting flies, which you can see. Oh, I heard quite a funny comment from one of the final control girls when they saw a lion do that. It's like when you need to give yourself a hug. I'd never thought of it like that before, but of course he's just stretching, but it does look like he might be giving himself a hug. No, he looks very, very content. Not like he's about to move anytime soon. Now, the great thing about having 4 male lions in a coalition, or even more, is the massive amount of area they can cover. So, I mean, we've got one male down on Cheetah Plains, which is, sure, probably as the crow flies, 10, 12, maybe 15 kilometers. And I'm sure Mfumo is around here somewhere. And then Nena could be in Buffelshoek somewhere. So that they're able to maintain dominance over a large area and by vocalization, by scent marking. And those vocalizations carry. I mean, a male lion can probably hear another one from about 20 kilometers. So if they ever get into trouble, reinforcements are just a roar away. Now, Dark Princess is wondering about the predator's smell, and she's wondering, do some predators smell more than others? And we did have those impala alarm calling haphazardly, half-heartedly a little earlier. Now, she's wondering, do some predators smell more, that the prey species will alarm more and know that they're there? I wouldn't say so. I mean, let's be completely honest. Lions, leopards, hyenas, wild dogs, cheetah, none of them smell particularly pleasant. And I'd say out of all of those, you probably find the worst smelling lions by a long way. Yes, they're very smelly cats. But again, the most prey species will rely mostly on sight. So till they can see it for definite, and they start alarm calling incessantly. Smell doesn't actually play that bigger role. Sight and hearing, so hearing something that they're uncomfortable with, or actually seeing a predator, is what will set them off. Now, this big boy is not moving very much, so it is your game drive after all, so it's up to you. Should we spend some more time with the sleeping Tinyo, the tooth, or should we carry on meandering to see what else we can find? Let me know by using the hashtag Safari Live on Twitter. There's going to be a poll created by Final Control, so you can let us know whether we should hang out with a Tinyo for a bit longer, or should we go see if we can find some other interesting things. Yes, I don't think he looks like he's going to move or roar before the end of drive. He is quite, I suppose, you've heard us all say it a lot of time, but he is a very flat cat. Now, Liz is wondering, is Tinyo about the same age as Amber Eyes? And Liz, if I had to tell you, I would be lying. I'd say he's probably, I'm guessing he's 6.5, 7. I'm not actually sure on Amber Eyes' age. She was an adult lioness when I arrived here. And so I couldn't say whether she's older, younger, in between. She's an adult, though. That I'm quite sure of. Now, with adult lionesses, unless you've known them for a long time, it is quite difficult. So there we go. Apparently she is 6. And so it's about the same age then, maybe a little bit younger. You must remember the Birmingham boys spent their time marauding up north before becoming resident down here. And they had a good couple of years by themselves before they became pride males, dominating over 3 prides. Hi, Adam in Alabama, who's a brand new viewer, so a massive Safari Live welcome to you, Adam. Really great to have you on the back of the largest game drive vehicle in the world. Now, Adam's question is, any of the animals that we see showed aggression towards us? Occasionally, Adam, but generally if an animal shows aggression towards us, we'll move away. With the lions and leopards, not too often. Sometimes with ellies, if ellies are uncomfortable, we'll move away. We never want to put ourselves in a position where the animal feels so uncomfortable that they need to get overly aggressive with us. So we are very careful about that and try and move away as soon as there is any sign of that. And it's very important to remember, as long as you drive and treat these animals with respect, you're going to be okay. But as soon as you start pushing their boundaries, you're asking for trouble. These are wild animals. This is the middle of the bush, so don't be naughty. There we go. He moved his tail. A very sleepy kitty. Still digesting the buffalo. There you go. Still got quite a nice full belly, so not hungry. Tina would like to know, will a coalition member kill another member of the coalition? I mean, it's possible if they get into a very, very serious fight over females, but it's very unlikely. I haven't heard of a coalition member killing another coalition member, but it might have happened. As I said, there's no fixed and set rule with these animals. So the moment you start dealing in concrete, you get jackhammered. Well, I thought that was quite clever. What do you think, Brian? Do you like that one, Brian? I saw Brian. Brian started smiling. Yes. So I mean, anything is possible, Tina. It's one thing you got to remember. These animals are incredible, and they of course don't read all the books we write about them, so they're quite capable of proving us wrong at any time. So I definitely wouldn't rule it out, but I would say it would be uncommon behavior. And see, as it gets cooler, the biting flies decrease in number. So it gives a lot of the animals a respite for the evening from the irritating bites of the stable flies. Although it seems like Tinyo is a Zen master. He's managed to find enlightenment and ignore the flies completely. So, the poll has spoken, and we're going to leave him now and go see what else we can find. Okay. So we're going to make our way out. We'll leave Mr. Tinyo to his slumber. Now, there he is. For those of you who watch the Djuma Dam Camp, and you must keep I'll listen out tonight because I think they're going to be quite vocal. Now, I'm just going to get a road marker. There we go. That's my road sign to leave on the road for the next person coming in so they can find Mr. Tinyo. Now, I'm pretty sure Mfumo and Amber Eyes are somewhere to the north of the WildEarthTV Dam, but we just couldn't find them. And it is a very big area there without any roads, so we did have a good look, but they might get moving. I think Amber Eyes is still desperately trying to get back towards the rest of the pride, and although I'm not sure, did you see them mating? And if we've seen them mating, then maybe she will be with them for a few more days, but I haven't seen them mate yet, so it'll be interesting to see what happens. But good news, while I place my road sign, Jamie has made it back to Djuma in one piece.